Hi everyone, welcome to Lassen Volcanic National Park. We are in Northern California and let's see, we are just west of Susanville is where this is located. And man, it's kind of cold up here compared to our last week or so. You know, it's been like in close to 100 and now we're going to be in the best maybe 60s. So right now it's still pretty cool, and tonight it's supposed to be down to in the 30s and snow, so this will be pretty exciting. So anyway, we're going to stay here for 2 nights and we're going to kind of look through the park, so why don't you come with us and let's see what we can see. Welcome everyone, this is David with Tigner Adventures, and like I said in the intro, we are at Lassen Volcanic National Park. So there are 2 entrances to this park, 2 main entrances. There's a lot of sub entrances around the outside perimeter of the park to go to different things to see. It's a fairly large park, and we are on the north side of the park, and this is where the camping is. And so we actually got a spot in here in the park. It's going to be interesting because we have a pretty big rig, and normally it's pretty hard to get those into national parks, but we are going to stay at the campground here for 2 nights, and we're going to kind of drive over to the top of the mountain to the other side to the second entrance. Most of, at least as far as the main visitor center, is on the south side of the park, and we are currently just above 5,000 feet, so it's kind of cold here. It is right now about 45 to 50 degrees. There is a storm coming in, supposed to be snow tonight, so we'll see how that all works out in our little adventures here, but it should be a lot of fun. So we're going to kind of check out a bunch of different things. The first thing we got to do is get set up at our campsite though, and so we're going to go ahead and do that, and then tomorrow we're going to go and see some of the different things that might be here. We're going to grab a map and things and see what's going on. We've driven by here several times in the last few years and always wanted to stop and just didn't have it within our time frame. So this year we made sure to put it on the calendar and be able to actually stop and see things. So hopefully this will be helpful to you, and you'll enjoy it too. And remember, my name's David, my wife Ninette, and our little cat Tansy. We live in our motorhome full time, and this is our life now, and so we are out enjoying life and getting to see these wonderful sights. So come along, let's go get our campsite set up and get checked in, and then we will figure out the rest of our journey from there. Alright, we're at the Mountaineer campground, and to clarify, there are actually 2 campgrounds here in the national park. The one that's on the south side is a walk-in only, so you park in the visitor center there, and then you just take your tent and you go hike in and set up a tent. This side of the park, which is the north side, is the only one that has actual RV sites. And if you see behind me, there is a map here. I'll zoom in, and there are probably, just kind of looking at the different loops, I mean there's about 300 campsites in here, so it's pretty impressive that they've got that much kind of rolled in here. And we're right next to the Manzanita Lake, so that's we're not going to be on the lake, but we're close enough we can just walk over to the lake, and we will be taking a little hike around the lake later. We've got our map of things that we've got to figure out what we're going to do, but that's one of them. As we were driving in, I just wanted to point out they did say visitor center, and so if you look here, it's really just a museum, and it kind of highlights the area, but it's really kind of just, it's not really a main visitor center like what we're used to, like what we'll see on the other side hopefully when we go over there. They also have a store, a laundromat. They have gas, which man, this is kind of amazing. Gas is $4.12 here. That's actually about the same price that it is in Susanville, so that's pretty surprising considering that we are an hour from any other gas station. So it's nice that they've kept the prices pretty low here, and they're not gouging us just because we're out in the middle of nowhere. It is 30 miles from here over to the south side, so some people, if you don't come prepared, may have to get gas, and it's nice that they actually have those services here. So anyway, we are going to take off and go in and get our campsite set up, and then we'll figure out our plan of attack for tomorrow, and we'll see where we go. So we are just in Loop B, number 37. And man, just driving around here, it's kind of surprising how much space there is between, you know, each campsite. You can see that some of these are a little short though. That's why I'm hoping that where we're at, we're going to actually be able to get our rig into it. They say it's supposed to be 36 feet, but I'm kind of figuring it's 36 feet total, so there won't be a place for our car. So we found our spot and we have got all parked, and we just barely fit. So luckily this rock wasn't very tall and we were able to go right over the top of it, because we are still on the pavement, which is the requirement. We did have to put some boards up because it's a little slanted, so not quite level, but we were able to back in here and be able to get our car in front. So pretty tight little spot. But with all that said, the key thing about this is that we have a spot and we will be here for 2 nights. This is Manzanita Lake, and it is right next to our camp. And it has so many animals. We've seen ducks, squirrels, but you know, one thing we did not see any fish. So I guess these ducks are just eating algae. But we did see this nice bald eagle way up in the tree, so that was pretty fun. So look what we woke up to this morning. We had snow. A lot of it's melted now because, well, we got up a little later because it was so cold out. 36 degrees was the low this morning. We just left our camp and we are now headed up the road, and we're going to go over to the other side where the big visitor center is. And this is just a view of Lassen Peak. There is one hike that we wanted to do today, and that is the Kings Creek hike. And so you can see by this little sign right here that this is where we want to hike to. And if according to the map, it says it's 3.0 miles round trip. According to the sign here, it's 1.1 miles to the thing. So one of the things we found out is the signs are not correct here. There are no dogs allowed on the trails in the park, but here we start off with the hiking. Most of the trail is along the creek itself, and you can see that there's still a lot of snow out here, but for the most part the trail is in pretty decent shape. So it's a pretty easy hike, and it's actually rated easy. Has a 500-foot elevation gain, and it's pretty simple. It was a real easy hike and it wasn't too bad at all. So but you can see we have some nice snow patches. We have a nice meadow that we hike through, and then we're back in the mountains again. It just kind of goes up and down, and but it's really, really pretty scenery, and it was really, really a pretty hike. We're going to hike up over to the left here, up over the top to the falls, and then we'll come back up along the river as we come away from the falls. But you can see we're now up on top and we're looking down. This is the river below, and there's a lot of waterfalls just in it. So that's pretty neat, and that's what we're going to actually hike up along as we exit our one-way route. So we got a great view of the valley below here. We're kind of at the higher spot here overlooking everything. This volcano, one of the things that makes it different than most areas is that there's actually like 4 different types of volcanoes in this one. So they call it a shield volcano. There's cinder cones. The volcano itself is referred to as a plug dome. And then there's other parts of it that are composites. So they're saying those are the 4 types of volcano that you can have, and this particular one actually has all 4 of them. But the view up here is just really, really pretty. Did I say the view up here was really, really pretty? Yeah, it is. It's nice. It's a nice day. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better day to go hiking. So now we are coming up on the falls itself. So we are hiking around just the very, very top of the falls, and then you can see, I mean, the fun part of this trail is that it's just right by the river most of the time, or at least you can hear it in the distance most of the time. But as we come up over this top piece right here, now we're going down into the actual overlook of the falls itself. It's exciting. We're finally to the end, and the view of the falls is really pretty. So now on the way back, it's kind of interesting because the sign said for this return trip said that it's a very narrow and strenuous hike up. Now where we just came down to the other side was a little, it worked its way back and forth, but it was pretty steep, and I think this has ended up being a lot better way to hike out, and it's definitely a lot prettier with the actual river right next to us here. So this was definitely the best way to go. I would suggest that everybody ignore the sign and walk up this section here, because it says it's skinny, but if you look here, yeah, some of the steps are kind of narrow. I mean, you got a foot to step on, but it's not like there's any cliffs. There's not like there's anything where you're going to fall off and get hurt. So, and this is the last piece of this portion before we join up the other trail. So I always like it how they build that stuff in there. Alright, so once we left the trail and we started heading back down the road again, then we actually drove by Bumpass Hell, which is a trailhead, and then right after that we come into the Sulphur Works. Bumpass Hell is a lot like the Sulphur Works, except that it's more like Yellowstone in a way. It has paths that go out to everything, and you can kind of walk out where all the bubbling pots of water and mud are. And in this particular case, Sulphur Works is just on the side of the road here next to the road, and so you don't have to go on the hike if you don't want to. You kind of see the same things here. Once we actually get down to the visitor center, this is looking from the visitor center back up over the mountain, which we just came down. But now we're at the visitor center, and it's a pretty nice visitor center. They have a little restaurant inside, or a little snacks area inside. They have and then they have a pretty good display of what is going on with, as far as what's happening with the volcano, the different types of volcanoes, different things for the kids to do, little things for the kids to actually touch and read and play with and things. So I thought it was a pretty nice little visitor center, and I'll tell you, the rangers inside were super nice. In talking to the ranger, I said, when are they gonna start showing videos again? And she says she did not know. However, all the videos are actually online now, so you don't actually have to even go into the theater anymore. So that's good to know. So we look forward to watching those online for the different places that we're gonna go. So that'll be kind of fun. Well, that's it. It has warmed up a little bit. I can take my coat off. It's nice in the sun. When you get in the shade, it's a little cool, but we have completed the day, and it's been a fun day. Nice hikes. We had a lot of fun, and a lot of great things to see, a lot of scenery. So hopefully this has been of value to you. You got to see some cool things, and maybe you'll want to come and visit this park also. And like all adventures, this one's come to an end. So hopefully you've enjoyed the video, and we will just hope to see you down the road on our next video.